Hey everybody, Miss Victoria here. I'm so excited to see you guys all again. I've missed you guys so much. Today I'm going to talk to you about the story of David and Goliath. So some of you may already know this story, but I'm just going to go over it again because I love this story. It talks so much about David's faith in God and how God gives him the strength to overwhelm super big obstacles. So in the beginning of this story, there's a group of people called the Philistines. These people are not nice. They're super mean people. They keep trying to steal all of the land from the Israelites, which is really mean. They keep going into their cities, stealing stuff, taking over their land. They're kind of like bullies. Today, they would be bullies. And so King Saul and his army are fighting against the Philistines. So when they go to war, David is also there, but he's not a warrior. He has not studied war. He has not fought in war before. He is just there to deliver food to his brothers who are fighting the war. So David is just there to deliver food. David's a tiny guy. He's not very big. He doesn't have armor. He just has a staff, a slingshot, and 5 stones with him. That's all he's carrying because he's not prepared to fight in a war. And his brothers make fun of him because he's little and they don't think that he could ever fight in a war or win a fight with anybody. And on the other side, they have a giant. The Philistines have a giant. He is 9 feet tall. That's like if you stand on your parents' shoulders, that's how tall he is. He's huge. He is covered in armor. That means that anything that tries to attack him won't hurt him at all. His armor is that strong. He is completely covered in armor. He has swords. He has shields. He is ready for war. He has studied war. He has been in war before, and he is ready to fight. Whenever Goliath comes up to the middle of the fight and says, "Who's gonna fight me next?" everyone kind of stands back. They're like, this guy is scary. He is really big. He's got a lot of muscle. He's really tall, and no one wants to fight him. They're scared of him. He is a really big giant. And so David knows that he has God behind him. He has God on his side. And everyone made fun of David because he was small and little and didn't have any armor. But David steps up and he's like, "I'm gonna fight you." And everyone kind of freaks out. They get scared. Everyone gets scared because they're like, "How? You're so little. How are you gonna fight a giant?" And David gets up there and he knows that God is fighting with him. That if he puts his faith in God and he gives all of his power over to God, God will fight his battle with him. He'll fight his battle for him. So David goes up there. He only has a staff, a slingshot, and 5 stones. That's all he's carrying with him. Slingshot. And the slingshot, you have to spin around really, really, really fast and then let it go. And it hits Goliath. And it knocks him out. It knocks him out. He fought Goliath and he won. He defeated the giant. That means if there is a giant in your life, if you choose to put your faith in God and give him all of your strength, God will fight your giants for you. David was little, he was tiny, but he knew that God was fighting his battle for him. So he stood up there with all of his faith in God and he fought the giant. So if there is a giant in your life, if there is anything going on in your life, maybe your math homework is super overwhelming, or maybe you don't know how to read yet and reading is overwhelming. Maybe there's something going on at home that seems scary or overwhelming. Maybe you're being bullied at school by a giant. Maybe. That means you have to put your faith in God. You have to choose to love God. You have to choose that God is going to be your strength. God is going to be the warrior that you need. God is going to fight your battles for you. But you got to ask him. Say, "God, can you fight my battles for me? Because they're big and they're scary." And he will. He'll fight your battles for you. But you got to ask him. You got to say, "God, hey, can you fight my battles for me? Because they're big and scary." And he will. So that's the story for today of David and Goliath. Even if you're little, even if you're tiny, even if you don't have a shield and a sword, you can fight your giants. You can fight any obstacle that's overwhelming or too big for you. Bye, guys.